Hey guys, it's time for Sammy's Reviews and I am so excited to be back. I know I've had quite a hiatus, but I am back. I'm ready to thrive on YouTube again. I have so many ideas, so many things to share with you. And let's begin with the first thing, which is a movie that I saw very recently and it really intrigued me. Today we're gonna be talking about a Tunisian film called The Man Who Sold His Skin. It's directed by Kawthar Douhania and it stars Yahya Mehani, Dee Lian, Monica Bellucci and Cordobo. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. So the director Kawthar Douhania actually directed a previous movie called The Beauty and the Dogs, and this movie, The Man Who Sold His Skin, actually won Best Actor in Venice Film Festival. This 2020 Tunisian film was nominated for the Oscars in 2020. So it follows a Syrian refugee that willingly sold the rights to his back for a tattoo artist to use it as a canvas for his art. From the moment I heard this synopsis, it really intrigued me. I felt like this is a very cool idea and there's so many ways the movie can go for, and I really want to know how the director chose to use this idea. By taking out some very minor issues, this movie had the potential to be a great movie. So let's discuss what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. So what I liked about the movie is the cinematography. This movie has some of the best shots I've seen in any Arabic movie. So I did my little research and I actually found out the cinematographer Christopher Own actually directed another excellent Arabic movie that was nominated for an Oscar, and it's a Lebanese movie called Capernaum, directed by Nadine LAKEY, which is an excellent movie. I totally recommend it. So the guy knows what he's doing. He makes excellent use of space. This movie has the best conversation through the phone kind of scene I have seen ever, okay? The use of the space and how to make the split screen between two characters that are talking on the phone, it was so smart and so creative, and I felt like, how did we not think of this already? The director very creatively uses the negative space around something. So for example, our main character was watching a YouTube video on his phone. So instead of the camera just shooting the phone and get to seeing the YouTube video, the phone is used as just a frame, and there's a bigger frame around it of chicken that are in constant movement. So this is what I'm talking about by smartly using negative space and adding dynamic frames to static frames. Also, the use of light is very eye-pleasing. You feel like it's a kind of a mixture between Nicola Refn and the actual identity of the director, and the use of light gives liveliness to the character and liveliness to what is actually happening in the movie. Our main character is kind of a piece of art, so he get to be on display a lot, you know, he's being on the spotlight, so you get to see him lit as a prop inside the museums, and the artificial light kind of strips away the humanity of him, and you get to see him as just a piece of a commodity between businessmen. The intensity of the light and the intensity of the colors and the contrast of the colors are used in scenes that is tense and requires a lot of negative emotions. Also, I really admired the idea of the movie. As I told you, when I heard the synopsis, I actually felt like this is so intriguing. I would like to see a movie handling this topic. Why? Because I feel like I adore it. I love it. I admire it when a director takes a very commonly used theme, such as refugees and immigration and racism and things that we regularly see in movies and TV shows and books and stuff, and he used it in a very smart and subjective way. You get to see the director's personal input in this idea. Instead of using the character as a mouthpiece telling you exactly how the director is feeling, actually the character becomes an allegory himself, and he stands for what the director actually wants to say. Themes like the incorporation of art and the artificiality of it, and how it's like a business more than people actually having something to say. All of these heavy themes were very smartly put in the movie without being in your face and being so fake. This is all nice and dandy, except when it comes to what I actually don't like about the movie. The pacing was so off. It was actually sometimes difficult to find the tone of the movie. Act 1 was really smooth with the structure and the pacing, and you felt like the director knows exactly what she's doing. But then by Act 2, you feel like the movie is wavering between I'm slow burn and a little bit boring, and like I'm taking my time too. I'm very aggressive and I have no time, so I get to say what I'm saying and I'm vomiting like action scenes and events all over you. So you felt like there's an imbalance in Act 2. And then by Act 3, oh my god, the movie was crazy. It was running on adrenaline, and you felt like the director had no time and she just got the notice that she has to end her movie right now. So the last 20 minutes of the film was basically one big event after one bigger event after one bigger event, and we have no time to just comprehend what is happening, and the characters are developing so fast in such a little time, and you felt as a viewer that I genuinely have no time to fathom what is happening. And I feel like the director was actually like really rushing it and in a hurry to finish the movie, while she had time to smartly build to these events in Act 2. As I mentioned, some parts of it were really stretched out. Also, the characters. The characters were not well written. This is probably my biggest issue with the movie. I just felt like the characters are flat. Our main character's attitude or tone was all over the place. In some scenes, specifically 2 scenes, his reaction to certain events are too over the top, and you feel like this guy he likes to party and dance and have fun, and he's like a real fun type of guy. But the rest of the movie, he's like melancholic, and he's more of an observant, and he doesn't share much of his opinion. So you kind of don't have a real character. No one's just like these 2 extremes, and I felt just that the actor didn't have good writing or good material to work with, so he felt like he's acting 2 completely different characters in the same movie. And not because he's a bad actor, not at all. Actually, the main actor was amazing. He looked exactly like, he's made for this movie. The way he walks and the way he held his wine and the way he displays himself for the people, you feel like this guy's a natural. The love interest was so underdeveloped. You can summarize her entire character with like a sentence or 2. She has no real depth to her, and you kind of don't understand the motivation behind some of her actions. Not because she's like too complicated and too sophisticated for you as a viewer, not at all, but you feel like she doesn't have much screen time to make her human. And because of the lack of good writing, you feel like you cannot understand from where these actions come from. Like her stance by the end of the movie, no way the character that's in the entirety of the movie could take these type of decisions by the end of the movie. So her development, for a lack of a better word, was very sudden and unreal. I just didn't feel it. Also, probably my least favorite part of the movie is the other 2 main characters, the tattoo artist and his assistant. I'm gonna group these 2 characters together because this is what the director should have done. These 2 people are just one person, okay? But I feel like the director had the chance to work with Monica Bellucci and she didn't want to say no, so she just wrote a very unnecessary character for her to join by the end of the movie. These 2 characters lack any human characteristic. I just felt like I cannot see them as real people. And they reminded me of how It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, how there's this episode where Frank imitates people who work in art business and how they're so like sophisticated. This is exactly how I felt. This is exactly how they acted. They just felt like they're robots. The artist is like, each time he opens his mouth, he's like spitting philosophical ideas and speaking in poetry verses, and it just felt like, really? And also he's introduced as this hotshot artist who is all the rage right now, and people are throwing money, bidding on his artwork, and you don't know how did he get to this point, and you actually only hear that. You don't see people coming up to him, you don't see much of paparazzi like running around him. It just felt like the character was quickly written. It was just sketched very quickly. I do not want to end on a bad note because I actually really enjoyed this movie. ironically. I know it doesn't sound like that after I've been rambling for half an hour about how much like I have problems with it, but no, these are minor issues. You're not gonna get put off by these issues. Please watch the movie, it's really good, and I'm telling you, this is a development of the Arabic cinema. The movie is very well shot and the soundtrack was really fitting to it. It's gonna leave an impact on you because of how humane the ideas are. No wonder it got nominated for the Oscars. It looks stunning in general and specifically stunning as an Arabic movie. The story is gripping, the idea is creative and weird. Really recommend it. I gave it 7 out of 10. And have you seen The Man Who Sold His Skin? Did you like it? Are you going to check it out? Please leave your opinion down below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!